Hi, Guido Fuchs here. Welcome by a new book report. Today I want to talk with you about wonderful book of Osho, India, My Love. 180 pages about spirituality and some relationships with his birth country, India. But I'm not talking to you a lot of times about India. There are wonderful pictures about Taj Mahal here and about Buddha. But I want to talk more about some specific, interesting points in your enlightened conditioning, in your enlightened process. So, not too much about India, but I really like the pictures about the country and the temples and the Taj Mahal and the beautiful lotus flowers. But that is an interesting point. I want to talk with you about the lotus flower. We know that lotus flower on page 19, it's mentioned. The lotus flower, you can see it a little bit, and you see my yellow highlighted text there. And I want to say to you what he was throwing down here in this wonderful book of, I think, 180 pages. And he say here, the lotus flower has been very symbolic to the East because the East says you should live in the world but remain untouched by it. You should remain in the world, but the world should not remain in you. And that's a very interesting topic, right? How far you go to attach yourself with all the worldly problems in your surroundings, on the news, all those wars what's coming into your home atmosphere. How far you let things in. Wars exist already 5,000 years or since the year zero. Problems about environmental problems, dryness in the landscapes, people fights, gossiping, drama, love affairs who going over and on, right? All those worldly problems about poverty and people have no money and have hungry and are thirsty. That's always going on in this world. How far you let those things inside you to disturb your mood, to disturb your peacefulness, your enlightened, your relaxing and peaceful attitude towards life? Why worrying constantly about the outside world without knowing that people should about 1,000 years still poor, still hungry? We have the daily problems also about 1,000 years. So why worrying about it? Wars are coming, wars are going, wars are coming, wars are going. Why to attach to that wars, to that poor people, to put emotional energy in it constantly and constantly, to disturb your mood, to disturb your inner ecstasy, your inner power? So the lotus flower is not something egoistic. It says only if you put energy in yourself, if you become grounded, If you become meditative, you can flower and you can share your love into the world. Before that, your attachment and your giving is from emptiness, is toxic, is an escapism for yourself. All your giving can be egocentric. I give money to the poor people. Look how good I am. Just think about yourself. You're worrying, giving money to poor people. Are you doing that because of real love? Or are you doing it because you want to shine for the outside world? You're making worrying all the time because then I get attention and maybe I can come on television. So you should remain the world, but the world should not remain you. You have to be in control. You have to be fully in control first. Otherwise, your surroundings, your world is shaking you. Is shaking you. And you're shaking with the world. And you stay as a weak tree. A weak tree who's falling down and get a burnout and get a depression, and then you're happy and then you're falling down. There's no ground. Because the world stays shaky, the world stays destructive, the crowd is destructive, the crowd is addictive, the crowd is unhappy, the crowd is depressive, the crowd is unintelligent. The world is a mirror of the crowd, and with me you go beyond the crowd. You go higher than that. So the world stays a problem. Stays a problem. Peace, war, poverty, always will continue. And that is exact what Jesus was telling to us. Poor people always stay. Always, there should be always poor people. Let's drink wine. Let's make a party. Not caring so much all the time. You're losing your own life. You're losing your own soul. You cannot flower. You cannot flower. You cannot become the lotus flower if you not give water to yourself first. First self-love, and then you can give something to the world. But become not disturbed by the world. Stay untouched. Stay untouched first. And give yourself first water. Page 29. Within the crown of the head, a child speaks. Within the crown of the head, the child speaks. When you're opening up your Crown-Chakra, you become an innocent child. You become a relaxing child. You become a magnetic force. You have some warm spot on your head. It costs years of meditation experience, arduous effort, but you become a child. From the lion to the child. In the crown of the head, where the 1,000-petaled lotus blooms, no mind is born. When all thoughts depart, when the ego departs, when even a feeling I am does not remain, when the only thing remaining is silence, is peace, emptiness, this is called samadhi. Samadhi, inner peace. No mind, and your top flowering lotus is on your head. On your head, the child is born, and you reborn. You become that innocent child again, what you was before the corruption of society. Before the corruption of society, you were that innocent child who was playing on the playground, and you were curious and you were free. And then all those responsibilities are coming in your life, all those pressures of society, all those ambitions, that competitiveness, striving, stress, burnouts, bore-outs, depressions, all those suffering of society is coming unto you. You have to become someone. Your family wants it. Your university wants it. The society wants it. Your wife wants it. Your children wants it. Daddy, are you becoming a police agent? Daddy, are you becoming rich? So all the pressures on you disturb your child again. Your innocent child again. All those pressures, let it go. Stay untouched by it. Remain in heaven. Stay untouched by world. World is mediocrity. World is mediocrity. Understand that. World is mentally still mediocrity. We are 14 years old. Mentally, socially, understanding each other. 14 is the average age of humankind. Even when you're 60 or 70, you are 14 years old. And we have to go back to mentally healthy, very healthy, when you're feeling yourself 8 and 9 again. Back to the innocent child. Page 36. A master has to be a mother. A master has to be tremendously capable of feminine energy so that he can shower love on you. Only then he can destroy This very interesting sentence from Osho 36. We misunderstood power by masculinity. The whole world is thinking that masculinity is power. I say to you, the feminine, the grace, the peace, the understanding, letting someone speaks out is much more powerful than the conflict model. And of course, later on, it is a balance in your energy system. It is male and female together, and that you can switch. You can switch from male and female. You can choose in what kind of pole you want to be. Then your energy system will be a choose of freedom. So if you can develop yourself in your feminine energy, in your feminine skills, but also in your male skills, in your decisiveness skills, in striving forward and taking action as a man and taking initiative, but also think about your female qualities, the understanding, the listening, without judging. Take everything, adapt everything, feel everything. Very important qualities to develop yourself in your total being. Totally. You want to become, of course, needs a Superman. And the Superman has both male and female. Page 59. Page 59. He was so fearless. Fearless. You have to become totally fearless if you want to get higher in your spiritual realms. And I don't say don't be fair if a tiger is coming to you or you are in a dangerous situation. Then it is of course fear from your instinct and you have to react. I talk here about fear of yourself, the fear of reflection, the fear to go deeper and deeper into meditation, the fear to lose your position, the fear to lose your girlfriend, the fear to not be good enough. That's a very, very important fear in this society. The fear of not being good enough. You have not not the right position in this society. Why you are not a banker? Why you're not a president? Why are you not a minister? How that is possible? Why you're not a doctor? Why? Why you're still working by this supermarket? All those pressures, right? All those pressures of society is making you sick. Be more natural. Have a more natural schedule of sports, walking in the forest, chill a little bit, more meditation, take a bath, have more natural, relaxed schedule. Don't go in that rat race. Don't go there. The rat race is so mediocre. It's so society. Stay out of society, beyond society. So you remain in heaven and you're untouched by the world. There's something interesting going on in higher spiritual guys like Jesus and Buddha. They have always good connection with prostitutes. And prostitutes were in those days more higher value women than nowadays. They were also people with nice houses, and you can go to a prostitute also to talk about your problems more in an extended way than nowadays here in Amsterdam, that you go to a room and you have your quickie and you go. So prostitutes were a little bit more in higher value than nowadays. But there is always a strange connection with prostitutes and spirituality. And of course, that's related to the openness and the kindness of prostitutes. They are so open in their attitude, in their touchings, and their ego is very down because everyone is judging on their body, and they walk away. They rejected. They are rejected constantly. So their ego were hurting, and at a certain moment they don't care anymore. So the ego is very down of prostitutes. So you see there a kind of spiritual grow also. And if I look the eyes of the prostitutes in Amsterdam, they have also a kind of kindness and a kind of glinstering. So there is some relationship there. There is some spiritual growth there in prostitutes and the relationship with Jesus, with Maria Magdalena, and also with Buddha. And prostitutes was falling in love with Buddha, and there also wrote something about it. But I found it very interesting that also prostitutes can be very high in their spiritual energy. Page 147. Page 147. And I found this so interesting quote, so simple, but so much life wisdom here. And that is the innermost core is meditation, samadhi, and the outermost is sexuality. It's the whole life of man depict. So it's all about meditation and all about sexuality. And think about it, right? Why you have the job, why you have the money, why you want to go higher in your hierarchy. It's mostly all about women by men. And by women is, I think, a little bit less. But everything is putting back on sexuality and meditation on a deeper level. So your innermost focus is meditation, and your outermost focus is sexuality, and then you're all very, very fulfilled in life. Then you have tackled nearly 90% of your depressive moods, of your senseless life, and you think about it, why I work all this time, and problems with your career and problems with your life energy. And if you look at meditation and combine sexuality in it, more attention to sexuality, maybe some variety here. So meditation and sexuality can tackle, I think, a lot of issues, a lot of mental issues here. So think about that. Two things in life: inner and outermost part in your energy system. Thank you for watching this video, and have a nice and wonderful day, and I see you by the next book report. Hi.